Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Coaching Corner with me, Jamila, the IEP Coach. You all know it's Tuesday. It's 6:30 p.m. Tuesday. Oh, as always, if you see me turn to my left, I am going live on my IG, and I want everyone to share out this live with as many people as possible. And as I'm telling you to do it, I am doing it as well. I hope everyone is staying cool in this heat. I hope you're staying hydrated and everything. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so we can talk about all things special education because you know that's just what we love to discuss and support you all with here at the IEP Coach LLC. So I am sharing this out, sharing it out, sharing it out. And it wasn't as hot today as it was some weeks ago because it was sweltering some weeks ago, but it's going good. Those of you who have gone back to school, how is it going? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. How is it going? I know some of you are back at work doing PD right now. Let me know how it's going. I hope you have some meaningful PD. All right, so I'm going to share that out. All right. And hello. Let me know where you are from in the comments. Those of you who are coming in. Hello, hello, hello. All righty. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome everyone who is here. And so we are going to talk about the importance of special education professional development. You hear me talk about this all the time. It is very vital. It is very important that schools and networks invest in providing special education professional development for their schools. It is so important. And it's so important. I did a live about, not a live, I did another reel about it. This is part 3. So I've already made a total of 3 reels about, so this is extremely important. Okay, I can go on for days to tell you why special education professional development is so important, but here's just a few more reasons why special education professional development, it is extremely important to have at your school. So for one, special education professional development, I can't stress this enough, it is for all teachers, not just special education teachers. It's for all teachers. Okay, so now by having special education professional development, teachers learn more about just the legal compliance. Now, special education teachers, they are the ones who are keeping the IEP in compliance, making sure they do the IEP annually, making sure that it's updated with the necessary information. But for gen ed teachers, they learn just how confidential the IEP information is. They learn about how it's important that they need to submit teacher reports, the teacher input forms in a timely fashion so that way that information can go into the IEP. So both gen ed and special education teachers learn about the legalities of being in compliance and making sure that paperwork is done on time. You want to make sure that your triennials is done on time, the reevaluation, making sure you gather the information, making sure you progress monitor, because the progress monitoring is not just on the SPED teacher, it's on the gen ed teacher as well. So you have that legal compliance piece there, okay? And by you being in compliance and everybody is aware of how to remain in compliance and how to just make sure everything's up to date, this keeps you out of lawsuits. This keeps you away from the lawsuits. It keeps you out of the courtroom, okay? That legal compliance is very important. All right, reason number 2, it will boost the job satisfaction of your teachers, principals, education leaders. Do you hear me? It is going to boost the job satisfaction of your teachers. You want to know why? Because they are getting the support with their responsibilities. They're getting the support they're getting help, they're getting further explanation about what they have to do regarding their responsibilities and how to do it, so they feel supported. Therefore, they're more likely to stay at the school. So your retention, so you're able to retain more teachers by providing proper special education, professional development to them, because they're getting the support they need, is boosting their confidence, which boosts their job satisfaction because they feel supported and they're getting the support and learning the information to help them do the responsibilities of their position. And it more likely, and they are more likely to stay at their job, stay at the school, because they feel supported. Therefore, principals and education leaders, you retain more teachers. You won't have this big issue where you got teachers leaving at some the rates that teachers are leaving is saddening. Okay? Reason number 3, having professional development. Hello, everyone coming in. Having special education professional development, it helps to build the collaboration amongst the teachers. So you have your gen ed and your special education teachers working together, learning learning the roles of each other, learning how to support each other, so that way they don't feel isolated, that they have to do the work by themselves. They see that it's community. They see that they can collaborate with each other to support the student. And that is how you're going to get success, increase success with your students, if your teachers collaborate with each other. You're not going to have a lot of success if you go at this by yourself, isolated and alone. No, you need a team. It's a team effort with increasing the achievement amongst our students, especially our students that have IEPs and that have special needs. So having professional development, special education professional development, it definitely builds those collaborative skills with your teachers, so that way they can understand the importance of each other's role and how they can leverage each other's support. Okay, so like special education teachers will lean on gen ed teachers when they need to get input for students' IEPs and can support gen ed teachers with that. Gen ed teachers can lean on and leverage the special education teachers if they're having difficulty with implementing something in the IEP or trying out something new with their student. All right, number 4, harnessing the data. You truly learn how to analyze the data of your students and make data-driven decisions. And I want to say, with special education professional development, it really humanizes the data, because a lot of times when we look at the data, we just look at numbers. Oh, it's just a bunch of numbers. But those numbers represent different subgroups. Those subgroups of students, they have names. You know what I mean? Like, they have names. Like, we have to humanize the data, because it helps you to have a stronger connection with that data, because you know that's Jonathan's data, that is Sarah's data, that is Aaliyah's data, that is Robert's data. Like, you got to humanize the data that we're analyzing to help us to connect with that data more and to just have a more deeper connection with that data. So when we are creating goals for our students, we're not just pulling goals out of nowhere. We're using the data to make proper decisions on what goals the student needs. Okay, so we always want to make data-driven decisions when we are deciding what goals a student needs, whether they are in a gen ed classroom or a special ed, whether they have an IEP or not. You always want to use the data to drive your instruction, to drive the goals you may be creating for students. If you are progress monitoring students, you definitely have to utilize the data that you have collected and use that to see, okay, do we need to continue to monitor the student in these areas, whether it is academics or whether it's behavior. You always need to use the data to drive the goals you're going to create or the instruction that you're going to implement in your classroom. And also, again, Special education, professional development really helps you to humanize the data, not just looking at a bunch of numbers. Understand those numbers represent students that you have. Okay? So that was number 4. Number 5, special education, professional development really helps teachers understand inclusive education advocacy and really understand how to advocate for inclusive education. Because a lot of times we have schools that say, oh, we're inclusive, we're inclusive, we're inclusive, but they're really not, because you're not inclusive of your L's, you're not inclusive of your special education population. And it's not just, okay, making sure that your special education population IEPs are being implemented. It's more than that. It's understanding that you may have nonverbal students in your school, and you have a what is the word I'm looking for? You have alternatives to the different activities that they can do, so that way they can still participate in the events at school. That's part of being an inclusive environment. Being mindful of who is in your building. Being mindful if your students have sensory issues, having noise canceling headphones, just have them readily available. Being mindful of students who have speech impairments, and being mindful of the activities that you have at your school that can accommodate them. So for example, it was a fun day at school, and so we're in the gym having fun, and we were playing a game where, I don't know if you guys ever played the game where you you start with a message at one end of the line, and then you repeat, you have to whisper it to each other, and then you have to see if the message is still the original message when it gets to the end. And when my principal did that, I'm like, no, because I was aware of the students that had speech impairment. And of course they were in line. I'm like, that's not fair to them, because these students in particular had a severe stutter. So they wouldn't get the message out quick enough to tell the person, therefore their team would lose. I'm like, we got to change that activity, because it's not inclusive of everyone who's here. You have to be mindful of all those things. And this is why it's important not only to have special education professional development, but also having someone that has a special education background on your leadership team, on your culture team, on your curriculum team, because we look at things differently, and we remind people in the district and the network to be inclusive of not just our students that have IEPs, but all of our students. It is vital that you have a person that has a special education background in every facet of a school district, every facet of a charter network, private. I don't care what educational institution you have, you need to have people who have a background in special education to truly ensure that inclusive education is going on at the school, and practice inclusive education advocacy. Because when you truly understand that, then you know how to advocate for your kids in your classroom, not just your students that have IEPs, but all students. They could be an English language learner, they could be a gen ed student, a student with a 504, a student with an IEP. It don't matter, because you are being inclusive of their education, truly being inclusive. Therefore, you can advocate for them. Okay, so I'm just going to recap the 5 tips that I just went over. So they were, this is part 3, why special education professional development is important. Hey, we on part 3. Jeez, we are on part 3. I done 3 reels about why this is so important, and I can go on for days. Okay, so this is why special education professional development is important. This is part 3, the reel I posted today. So number 1 reason, 5 more reasons: the legal compliance. It boosts job satisfaction. Therefore, education leaders and principals, you're able to retain your teachers. It builds collaboration amongst your gen ed teachers and your special education teachers. It really teaches educators how to harness the data and humanize the data. And teachers really learn about inclusive education advocacy. like really, really being inclusive, and not just the stuff you guys throw around in your school and the stuff you just say at a PD, the stuff you say at convocation, but you really don't practice it in your school. No, I'm talking about real inclusive education. And again, it is vital that you have a person that had a professional that has a background in special education in every facet of your school: leadership, culture, curriculum, instruct, all of it, every aspect. Because again, our brains work differently. We see things differently, and we can remind you quickly, like, no, don't do that activity. We need to do something else. Or if these are the activities, we need to make sure we have this, or we need to make sure we have these alternatives available. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to drop our link in the chat. If you are on Instagram, click the link in our bio, because the autism play date is this Saturday, August the 12th, from 12 to 4 p.m. at Smith Playground in Philadelphia. The IEP coach is going to be there. It's going to be so many other resources there. So, and it's free. It's free 99. It is free 99. So click the link in our bio and register for free. I also put the link in the comments. All right. The literacy reform. She says right. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, make sure you register for the autism play day. Click the link in our bio. Make sure you register. Make sure you, oh, sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Oh, one more thing. We have a webinar that we're going to be doing at the end of August. I'm going to share some more information throughout this week. It's going to be a free webinar. I can't wait to tell you guys. Focusing on special education law and regulation. So excited. Stay tuned to see more information about that. And we have some other things brewing for you guys, but I can't tell you just yet. All right. So make sure you share our page with others, you like and you comment. If you have any questions, you can DM us, you can message us, you can email us. Also, if you are catching this on a replay, please remember to put hashtag replay in the comments, so that way we know you are catching this on the replay. And as always, stay safe, stay cool, everybody, in this heat. Stay hydrated. And we will see you all next Tuesday, same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See ya.